And then I talked about how is sexual relations viewed in Islam in general. And I have some quotes here that the scholars have said that, the purpose of sexual intercourse is mutual pleasurability, right? Both parties are supposed to enjoy it. It's not just something that the man enjoys. The woman is supposed to also enjoy it as well. And the Hanbali scholars, I believe it's Hanbali scholars, they even say it's an obligation for a man to have intercourse with his wife on a regular basis because she has the right to sexual pleasure, right? So they didn't. What my point with mentioning all that is that they understood that sex is a mutually pleasurable activity. It's not male conquest. I had sex with so many women. Ha ha ha. I can do whatever I want. I can. They're not pickup. Men aren't supposed to be pickup artists. They go and have sex here, there. It didn't work like that. It's not like a sexual conquest type of view that they had. So they understood that sex is a mutually pleasurable activity, and that would seem to contradict the idea that a custodian is going to be raping his concubine. So
if I could, on that, you have a lovely paragraph in your article, as I say, I've linked to in the description below, on masculinity in Islam, which is actually incredibly pertinent considering what's been going on in social media recently. You just quote it. You say, Al-Shafi's sensitivity to the concerns of women were likely influenced by his understanding of traditional Islamic masculinity. Al-Shafi, of course, is the eponymous founder of the Shafi legal school, the madhab, so incredibly important scholar in early Islam. And he said, manhood is based on 4 pillars: good character, generosity, humility, and devotion. And then you say, the righteous predecessors did not conceive of masculinity as involving alpha male or pickup artist behaviors. A true man in Islam is honorable to women, selfless, humble, and gentle, not domineering or abusive. And then you quote another scholar, what is, and this is who died in 687, one of the very earliest scholars, what is manhood? This scholar was asked. Forbearance, he said, in a time of anger, and forgiveness in a time of power. And then you quote other scholars as well. So very relevant today, where many of us think that masculinity is like an alpha male kind of character, where picking up women and so on. And this is not the Islamic model of masculinity at all, which is a very elevated, I think, very honorable conception of what it is to be a man.
Yeah, and in fact, those quotes are from Kitab al-Muru'ah. Muru'ah is the classical name for masculinity or manhood. And he has all I forget the author's name, escapes me right now, but he has all of these sayings about what is a true man like. And so that has already been defined in classical Islamic law, and it can be worlds away from how different cultures or our own culture today conceives of masculinity. But I would, unfortunately, it's not translated, but any man who is struggling with this topic, I believe Imam Dawood Walid wrote a book, Al-Futuwa. Futuwa means chivalry, and he brought a lot of these narrations as well. So that's the big book in English. But
this notion of chivalry, by the way, it's a different subject entirely, but this is something that is associated with medieval knights in the West. They have a chivalrous knight, but this actually comes from Islam. This predates it by many centuries. When Islam was the dominant civilization in the world. These noble characteristics were then picked up in the non-Muslim Christian Europe. And followed by the medieval knights, and then it became indigenous to Europe.
Yeah, so that was how manhood, masculinity was conceived by early Muslims. It included things like gentleness and honorableness, good character, all those kinds of things. And then I move to the section on the prohibition of sexual harm.